Welcome back to the Dr. Lesley Show, where I'm going to be intentionally disturbing, disruptive. I don't know. Let's talk about how you're all fucking manipulated today by the media and the world and the psychological perspective of a forensic psychologist. Maybe even talk about a day in the life of a forensic psychologist. We can do that too. So today was pretty much just a report writing day. I would write reports. I'd get distracted. I'd go on TikTok. I'd go on Instagram. I'd wrap some Christmas presents. I'd go back to writing the report. And my gosh, it is just so hard to stay focused, but can't wait to tell you guys all the juicy secrets after it's over. So, the big news of the day is the Epstein files. So, what we're going to do is recap celebrity news. We have a little more juicy stuff happening. We'll go through American government influencers who think they're politicians or journalists until they actually get sued. And then they write that they're just like poor little women working in the basements of their homes, Candace Owens. So we'll go through all of that. And then I don't even know what happened in the rest of the world today because it's such a shit show here. Okay, so celebrity wise, I really like that Pink came out and she posted a video against Trump. The world hates Trump. Even MAGA is turning against Trump. Now, I have always been really appalled by MAGA and the fact that they seem extremely ignorant to Trump. And what I was always very appalled by was the fact that I could tell he was lying about everything that he was standing for or running for. The only good thing I saw in him was that I thought that, maybe he was deranged enough that other countries might back down to America if he was the leader. But I don't really think that's happening. Anyways, but sticking to celebrity information, there was stuff dropped on the Lively Baldoni case. Basically, Blake Lively's legal team, everybody likes to say that it's a Blake. Legal teams never inform their clients. Like, this is lawyering. The clients are so busy, and genuinely, people at that level are so freaking busy with so many companies, so many things to do. They're not like involved in the nitty gritty of their lawsuits. Plus, that's not their career. It's crazy. These lawyers are brilliant, brilliant fucking people, except for Brian Friedman, of course. Anyways, basically, like Amy Heath on the movie showed Blake Lively what she equated to porn, which was the image video of his wife giving birth. First of all, gross, horrible decision. I would kill my husband if he did that. Wait, my husband doesn't have anything on his phone of my fucking vagina. Also, gross. Why do we need like to zoom in on that? Why? Blake Lively has had children, so she knows how it goes. But yes, it continues to show that they were just acting like teenage boys, that they were mocking her, harassing her and other women, harassing them all in a sexual way, a sexual harassment way. So, anyways, he produced something to the judge. He produced something in evidence that was not what he had shown her. I recall cast and crew members saying that she was really disturbed by what she saw. Like she told people what she saw and really thought it was inappropriate. And she was just trying to play nice and get through all of this and didn't want all these people to lose their freaking jobs and not finish the movie. So what he produced was not what he showed her on set. And she went back, her legal team went back and they won. And basically he has 3 days to produce what he actually showed her, his wife's vagina. This is obscene. Okay. So 3 days is probably like the 20th, November 20th. He has to, but I don't know. I would be checking the docket to see, but it's not like we're going to see that. And God, I don't think we should. This is his poor wife. Like, I feel like she's going to need therapy after this. Like, she's getting dragged into this. These guys, look what they're doing to women. I don't know why you have so many women supporting Baldoni when now look what Jamie Heath just put his wife into the center of. And it was his choice. He's a fucking adult. It was his choice and he got caught. It's his fault now that her vagina has to be shown to a judge and potentially a jury. There was other information on the case. I'm not too familiar with the Melissa Nathan stuff. I need to read it. Not killer interesting. There was video footage leaked where Justin Baldoni is mocking and sexually harassing Blake Lively and people around are just looking like really freaking awkward. And like what I saw in it was, okay, this is a pattern. They've seen it before. He's doing it again. How is she going to react? We've already informed HR, however we want to call it. We've told everyone about it. God, he's doing it again. Those reactions were of women who had seen it before and were sick of it, did not want to be reactive to it because he likes when people are reactive to it. That's what he wants. He wants to get a rise out of people. And so they just kind of brushed it off. And then he like tries to overly apologize because, oh, wait, he forgot again that he harasses women and he's grossly inappropriate. But because he does it so much, he doesn't even know how to stop it. Maybe we should be looking at it from that way. There are a lot of women in that room who all found that very uncomfortable and disgusting. And well, I guess you'll hear them in testimony. I just can't believe that people are digging their heels in so much on defending a man that they don't know. The man that they know is a performative actor who had a podcast apologizing for porn addiction and then did a movie about domestic violence and then proceeded to harass and like be really inappropriate. Okay. And now, through this whole lawsuit, his colleagues and his lawyers are doing the same thing. Do we not recall that Brian Friedman put me on the witness list to be deposed just to intimidate me to stop talking about this case because what I was saying was so accurate and because I worked for him and he knows me and I know things about his life that he doesn't want to get out? That's called bullying and that's called harassment too. But I just love how everybody likes to just call me a fake doctor. I don't even think it's really people. I think it's probably bot farming because they're all saying the same thing with the same typos and stuff. And you can bot farm. I've seen it in numerous smear campaigns. And even though they seem to be denying it, Wayfair and their fake evidence, it's definitely occurring because if you look at the themes and the details and the information of all of the people commenting, they all are in similar form. Their usernames are similar. They've been active for like a short period of time. They have 0 followers. They're not following anyone. So it all looks very fishy. They're all kind of images of random people. It's not like a real person's account. Yeah. So you can pay for somebody to do that. And I'm sure Jed Wallace did that. I'm sure Jed Wallace has done that for a lot of celebrities and politicians and extremely powerful people because there's a lot of people who go on the dark web and they do this kind of stuff. They're called hackers and some are good hackers and they take down like the bad guys, like the pedos on Instagram and TikTok, but some are not great hackers. They don't have a moral compass and they get paid a lot of money, like $90,000, to basically do an invisible smear campaign. And it's time that it comes out and it's time that the world is actually fucking aware of what is happening in Hollywood because what you see is total manipulation. How you feel about somebody, how you think they are. You're being manipulated. So many relationships in Hollywood aren't even real. They were put together, same with politics. They were put together for an image, for a purpose. And everybody thinks, oh, they're so in love because they're holding hands. No, it's because they have a movie coming out. Definitely more stuff on Charlie Kirk. I don't know if you'd put him in the celebrity or the government or I don't know, the bullshit area. But definitely more conspiracy theories from Candace Owens, where she has no actual evidence, but millions of people seem to be following her because she speaks with propaganda and with emotion and offers just enough nuance where you want to kind of link on because you don't really know, but it makes just enough sense. And the average reading level in America is 3rd to 6th grade. It really depends on who you're asking or what studies you're looking for. But she's speaking straight to people who really don't have critical thinking skills or they don't want to use them, or maybe they're just exhausted and they just want entertainment. They don't want to really think through. Who wants to think through it? Who wants to find all this fucking information? But whatever. Now she's coming up with theories that like Charlie Kirk's wife was being followed by airplanes. I don't even know. Who cares? I can't believe so many people listen to this woman who is not she's not nice. She makes fun of all of you guys. She makes fun of all of her followers all the time to the few friends that she has in Franklin, Tennessee. Just FYI. And she makes fun of white people all the time. Really, so much of the media today was focused on the Epstein files and the House, well, actually not unanimously. There was like one Democrat who voted no, but everyone else voted yes. And his reasoning was that there's stuff in there that's so fucking dangerous to America, to safety, that we don't want it out there. And he also said that people are in there that didn't do anything wrong. And so they're going to be wrongly implicated. Also, victims' names might get out. But he was the only one person. Now, That's interesting because if he actually does have information, he's not sharing it, but he seems to be very aware of why he didn't want it exposed as though he knew what was in it, but he's not sharing what's in it. So overall, the House said yes. It went to the Senate. They said yes, and maybe tonight, tomorrow, Trump should sign on it, which is interesting because he's named in it over and over and over and over. So he could potentially be a predator who's needing to sign over the release of hundreds of thousands of emails, videos, so much information. He's deciding to sign it to then release it. So Epstein's brother, who seems to question how Epstein passed away. Now, I don't give two fucks how this guy died, just as long as he's dead, because he was a fucking monster. But whatever, the brother's coming out and basically saying that there's a place in Virginia that can clean Trump's name out of all of the documents, and he names the city. We're officially in like Looney Tune land. Just this, it's like fucking ping pong right now with all the shit that Trump is saying, and he's just digging a grave. And then he has basically somebody who everyone knows killed a journalist and is a part of or was a part of 9/11 come into the White House today on the same day that this is all happening. Not a good move again. And then he calls a journalist Peggy. He silences a journalist and calls her Peggy. He is the president of the most powerful country in the world. Oh my gosh, I didn't mention DoorDash girl. I still don't know where I stand on this, but she went viral on TikTok because she was delivering a DoorDash to a guy's house and he said to like leave it at the door. Well, she saw that the door was cracked open. And so she cracked the door open more. And some of this is on video, some is not, some is cropped. And he's laying on the bed naked with his penis out and he's passed out. She then, of course, takes a video and pictures of it and then posts them all over the internet. So don't do that, guys. You don't want to put your evidence on the internet. But anyways, she got arrested. It was yesterday or today for 2 felony counts because of this. Like, was she traumatized? Was this fake? I don't know. But I mean, he unlawfully exposed himself to her. But then did she break the rules? I don't know. Again, like if anyone knows this girl or anything about this case, I will happily help evaluate and figure out who is telling the truth because as a forensic psychologist, that's what I do. The psychological tests are there for finding the truth, finding the validity of the statements. Who is telling the truth? And I can tell you once we get through enough testing. Gavin Newsom posted that he's not in the Epstein files and that he's cleared. Thank you, Gavin. I didn't really like Gavin Newsom living in California, especially when everything burnt down and there was no water coming out of the hoses. The firemen were plugging in their hoses and there was no water coming out. And that was a mismanagement largely by the mayor, by Bassett. But I also just didn't like him. I felt like he was super into himself and wasn't really out there for the right reasons, but he has really caused quite a storm in Trump's mind with the way he's fought back at Trump, especially through social media, because you all know that Trump loves his fucking social media and posting at 3 a.m. with a million typos not making any sense and then contradicting himself 8,000 times just like in the next following 24 hours. It's such a mess. But I really do appreciate that Newsom is being such an ass and calling out Trump, who is also being such an ass. And like I said yesterday, yeah, there's no peace in the Middle East because Israel again targeted, I think, Lebanon. And yeah, it was President Trump of this current administration who said there was peace in the Middle East. Yeah. So he's saying he stopped like 9 wars, but then he was like, his telephone conversation was recorded. And he was also saying that he's not releasing the Epstein files and he'll start a fucking war if they are released. So I don't really know, but what he has done, and probably not him, probably like really smart lawyers, he's put the Epstein files and Bill Clinton under investigation, which then will tie up the files because then we can't release them if they're in an active investigation. So he's tied things up and manipulated things with the hope that it's never going to get out there. But we do have certain people, we have representatives that are willing to be are in the House Oversight Committee and are willing to read the names. So I kind of feel like regardless of what the orange man does. Why is he orange? Why is Trump orange? Regardless of what he does, I think the names of really powerful people will come out because we're getting to the point where individuals aren't going to fucking stand for it. Oh my God. In the post I'm putting up tonight, I was dying laughing. Speaking about Trump and pedophiles, there is a test, and I'm going to butcher this, called the penile plethysmograph, and it's basically like a polygraph but for your dick. And so I made a video about it, and you can probably see it up on here and then on my socials. My social media manager said she lost count at how many times she had to bleep out the word dick. So, but anyways, you can show a range of footage, a range of videos while this thing is tied to the person's chest and to their penis. And it's going to look at how they become aroused. Now, you can't hide this at all because it's just, they're looking at like micro moments. And so there's a range of photos from adults to children. They're like old school photos, like old school magazines and stuff. No one identifiable. Maybe they're not even real anymore. Maybe they're AI generated photos. I don't know. But you can test to see if somebody is a pedophile. You can actually test for it. I don't know why that isn't more well known. There's also other tests that you can do, like looking at the images and then seeing how long they're staying on images. There's a whole world of science behind sex offenders. So on my socials, what I'm going to do is probably over the next week, I'm going to just really focus on pedophilia. And what I want to do is teach you all what pedophilia is, but largely what a paraphilic disorder is. That's the umbrella term over pedophilia. And there's other terms. Pedophilia is 13 and under prepubescent children. Usually you pick a girl or a boy in the diagnosis. And it sounds, very like this is what it is, but that's not what it is. It's also a suggestion. If you read anything in the diagnostic manual, you could diagnose yourself with anything. You can't just read it and diagnose yourself. You have to take into account patterns and elements and the person and what the victims looked like. So when Megyn Kelly made that asinine fucking statement that it's not a big deal because she didn't see anyone that appeared to be like 8 years old, she only saw people that were probably like 14 or 15. Oh my God. It is still rape. It is still abuse of a child. It is still a predator. It is still a paraphilic disorder, and it is fucking disgusting. She still has not fucking apologized, and she's just talking about more stupid shit. She needs to be canceled. She does not need a platform. She needs some fucking education. I have met so many lawyers in my career. My God, would I never hire that bitch for a single fucking lawyering job. She is so in love with herself and so out of touch with reality. It is shocking to me. Oh, I always like to touch on Aaron Parnas. People are always saying that he's paid and he's fake and it's not real news. But yeah, if you look at Reuters, like it's stuff straight from there a lot of the time. So he did post a lot today because today was quite a dramatic day. But again, mostly focusing around Epstein. Now, what I want you to do tonight when you lay in your bed is I want you to just lay down like you've been in a jury and you have heard too much fucking testimony. Maybe pretend that the world did tell you the truth and then laugh and say, of course not. Why would they? They will never tell you the truth. You have to navigate it on your own, and what you choose is what you choose. I'm going to choose digging deeper for evidence and facts and not falling into propaganda. And even though that makes me more tired, I think it's well worth it. Overall, a good day. I think tomorrow, probably not a great day in the Lively case because of Baldoni and them having to produce more information. And probably a day where we're going to see Trump's manipulation and Pam Bondi saying something like, we can't release the Epstein files. Honey, you know what? Thousands of FBI agents redacted names from those files. Virginia Giuffre's a ghostwriter. She also has all of the names and tapes and footage. It's been well known that Virginia had to identify her own body in videos and tapes. So, yeah, it's out there. There's a lot more information. There will be video footage and photos of high profile men abusing children. I don't know if we'll ever see that. And I don't think we necessarily should see it because we don't want to compromise the survivors of these fucking monsters. But someone needs to see it. I'm happy to be a part of the case and explain what the fuck they're seeing and how bad the abuse was, how torturous the abuse was, the psychological, emotional, verbal, sexual, physical violence. Somebody needs to speak to that. And it better fucking be somebody with some goddamn education in sexual offenders because all these fucking talking heads that you're seeing have no fucking clue, and half of them are probably complicit in most of it. Lovely. Okay, I will check in with you guys tomorrow. Dr. Leslie, out.